Hi everyone, it's your girl Tajara Marie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have kind of like a tough topic to discuss with you all. It's been a crazy journey, but if you read the title, then you know that I quit my job. Yeah, I quit my job last week. In this video, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory about, why I quit, what led to it, and then kind of what my plans are. I'll also be discussing my faith in this interview because that kind of it actually had a lot to do with my decision. So I'm going to just get into it and let you guys know about this crazy journey to quitting my job. So just a little bit of background. I wanted to leave my previous job over the summer because of the commute. It's crazy, but I lived 20 minutes from my job, but it took me an hour and a half to get home every day. With also being a full-time grad student, that just did not work for me. I didn't have any time in the evenings to complete my homework. And if I, got home and I did have time, I was very tired, obviously, from the commute. So that was really, really difficult for me. And then also there weren't really any benefits with that job. I had in my mind that I wanted more PTO and sick time and things like that. And we didn't really have that there. And then I also had a goal of mine that I had set, which was to work for this particular entity in my area. So I applied for that entity and I interviewed and I got the job. Now, when I got the call that I got the job, I automatically felt uneasy for some reason. And I thought that was strange because I was like, okay, usually when I get a new job or a new opportunity, I feel happy about it. I feel excited to, take on the task and everything. And I just felt really uneasy about accepting the position. I didn't even feel happy. Like I didn't have any feeling. And when I got the call and, they offered it to me, I kind of hesitated for a second. I paused and then I was just like, yeah, I'd like to accept. And that was my first clue that something was not right. Fast forward to when I started the job, automatically I could tell that they lied a little bit about the job description. I don't want to say lied or kind of like made it seem different than it was or whatnot, but basically the work that I've done when I was in college, like when I was interning, and since I've been out of college, is pretty much administrative work. I've been an administrative professional in HR and healthcare and credentialing, communications, things of that nature. And when I started this job, it became apparent to me that pretty much I was working on systems. I would have to go in and make different rules and filters to manipulate the system to work a certain way. And that's not anything that I'm interested in. I would never take on a job where I had to do something like that. So automatically I was like, okay, they lied about this position. Like this is not what I thought I would be doing. It was uninteresting. It was boring. My heart wasn't in it. That was my first clue that something wasn't right. Also, it kind of ran like an internship. I would basically be given tasks to complete, and then I would go to my boss and say, I completed this task. What's my next task? Like that was my whole day. And I'm used to working independently. I'm not an intern. I haven't been an intern in about 3 or 4 years. I have been out of undergrad for about 3 years. I'm not an intern. Like I want my own task and my own responsibilities. And so that was something that was really difficult for me. It made me feel like I was, still back in college when right now I'm in grad school. I'm about to have a master's in 3 months. I'm not an intern. So that was really strange to me and weird and hard to like deal with. About 2 months in, I get a call into my boss's office and she basically told me that I wasn't a good fit. She said that at this particular job, they are like a family and they don't feel like they know me here. That was kind of weird to me. I've been the same at every job that I have. I am friendly to my coworkers. I come in, I say good morning, I say good night. If it's Monday, I say, how was your weekend? Oh, that's good. But I don't really divulge any of my information to people. Like, that's just me. Like, I don't really go into what I did on the weekend. I don't go into what happens in my household. I don't really talk about my fiance much or my mom or, unless somebody's like, oh, I really love tomatoes. I'll go, oh, my mom does too. Like that's the most like I will really give. And I've been like that at like every job that I've had. So that was really weird to me. She told me that I wasn't a good fit, that they know each other really well. People feel like they don't know me, and that she would like for me to open up more. I'm not obligated to share my life story with anybody. So that was really strange to me. Right after that, I started noticing that basically I wasn't fitting into the clique up at the job. And from there, I noticed that they were pretty much starting to do things to get me in trouble. And I felt like nothing I did was right. I felt, sorry to curse, but like damned if I did, damned if I didn't. It would be things like they would come to me, or my boss would come to me and say, you don't ask enough questions. And I would be like, I always come to your office to ask. Her office is 2 doors down from me. If I have a question, I walk right over and say, hey, I have a question on this. Can you help me? That's what I always do. So I was really confused by that. She also started giving me work, but not giving me full instructions. She would give me an assignment. I would complete it based off of the instructions she gave me. And then she would come to me and be like, oh, this is wrong. We word it like this. This is the particular wording we use. So if there's a particular wording that you use, wouldn't that be something that you tell me before you give me the assignment? So that was really weird in itself. And I started realizing that, okay, they're trying to have things to get on me about. And I started to feel attacked. So back to the questions thing. She said I didn't ask her questions. I'm like, no, I definitely come to your office and ask you questions. So then I started creating a paper trail of the questions. Also because I felt as though I wasn't getting the proper instructions. Anytime I was given an assignment, I would say, okay, just to clarify, I am doing A, B, and C, correct? I thought that was a good thing. I thought that sounded very professional. I thought that that was the correct thing to do, being that I wasn't getting proper instruction, and I just want to make sure I'm doing a good job. Fast forward, they pull me into an interview. They've printed out all of the questions that I've asked, and they say, oh, you ask too many questions. We feel like you should be able to do this, and you should know how to do this. And I legit was like, if you look at the email, I pointed to the email, I say, just to clarify. I didn't say, walk me through the steps. I didn't say, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, just to clarify so that I can make sure I do my job correctly. Now, just a little bit more background on this job. They have a 6-month probationary period. Every time I say that, people look at me like I'm crazy because the standard probationary period for a job is 90 days. Here it is 6 months. At the end of that 6 months, they give HR their final decision saying if you are a good fit or not. And if you are not a good fit, you're fired. They ask you to leave. So they call me in for the meeting and they basically tell me, you're not a good fit. That's what they said. You're not a good fit. You have one more review before we tell the university whether you're a good fit or not. And then if you're not a good fit, they will let you go. And we don't feel that you are a good fit. They also told me that I might want to think about it on my own and decide if I'm a good fit or not and do what's best for me. They also, once again, reiterated that they are a family and no one knows anything about me and I am not a good fit with their family nature. So I leave this meeting and I honestly felt so at peace. For the past 6 months that I had been at that job, I had been severely depressed. I wasn't happy with the work. I wasn't happy with the position. I wasn't happy with my manager. My manager is what I would call a micromanager, and that just did not work for me. I wasn't happy with the pay cut that I took also. I took a $2 pay cut, and the way I rationalized it in my mind was that the return value would be greater because there's so many benefits and it's close to home. And with me getting my master's soon, I can move up the ranks and I can retire from this job because the benefits are so good. I can stay there forever. So that was kind of like my thinking and the way I rationalized it. But the pay cut was tough. Thank goodness I have a fiance here. Otherwise, I would have been broke. It was just horrible. I was having breakdowns and I couldn't even really tell you why. I would break down crying. I would wake up in the morning angry, like angry that I have to go to this job. I was like internally kind of like beating myself up. Like, why did you take this job? Why didn't you listen to your instincts? I was even considering getting on antidepressants or something because I, for some reason, just felt so depressed in my life and I couldn't really understand why. When they pulled me in that meeting and they told me that they were going to let me go because I wasn't a good fit and that, they will contact and they will let HR know if I am or not and blah, 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 basically saying they're going to fire me. That is the most at peace I had felt in 6 months. I literally sat there and was just like, okay. Like, I left the meeting and was like, thank you guys so much. Went back to my office and I was just like, I feel damn good. Like, I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. I feel so happy. Like, I feel so free. I wanted to like scream from the mountaintops, I'm free. I'm almost free. And then once I got over the initial excitement, I was like, okay, think. So this was the day before, our last day before we go on a winter break. We're on winter break right now, meaning we don't come back until after the new year. So I was like, okay, think. Do you want to be fired or do you want to quit? I personally was like, I would just much rather quit than have fired anywhere on my resume. The way I also looked at it was this job, to me, it looks good on my resume. And also, this is a huge entity throughout my entire area that you can also work. Like, basically, there's a huge entity with a bunch of small entities under it. And so I was like, what if I want to work for this entity again one day, but under another organization under this entity one day? What if I want to do that, but I can't because it says I've been fired, So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to quit. And mind you, there was one day left before we go on break. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just knock this one day out. I'm going to enjoy my break and look for jobs on my break. And then I will give them my 2 weeks when I return. The next day, okay, I come into work and my boss asked me to do a task that I had never done before, okay, as she usually does in an attempt to set me up. She asked me to do a task that I had never done before, but I had seen it be done once. And I actually am one of those people with kind of like a photographic memory. So I remembered seeing it be done and I was like, oh, okay, like I think I kind of know where to go. And so I get to the correct screen, but then from there, I didn't know how to go in and edit. So I called one of the girls who had trained me. I called her office and I said, hey, I was like, do you know how to get to this next screen? Like I did A, B, C, D, but I can't remember how to do this one part. And she said, oh, you know what? Let me come down to your office and show you. She's like 5 offices down from me. She said, let me come show you because it's kind of hidden. Like you wouldn't really think to go there. So it's best if I just show you. I said, okay, awesome. She comes down to my office. She shows me. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. That was a little tricky. Thanks. we're wrapping up, my boss dashes into my office, like, shoo. She's like, what are you two doing? And I was like, she was just helping me do yada yada. And then she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, you asked me to do something that I'd never done before, but I kind of remembered how to do it because I've seen it be done. So I just needed a little bit of guidance on this one part. She's like, oh no, she has work to do. Don't help her. I'm like, what? And even my coworker's like, no, it's the day before break. Like, I actually have nothing to do. And it was my suggestion that I come help her. And my boss is like, nope, she's got it. She should know what to do. And I was like getting ready to say like, actually, but my coworker was like, no, like she watched me do this one time, but I never walked her through it. So, and my boss didn't want to hear it. She was like, nope, she's got it. No need to help her. And walks out my office. So my coworker was like, sorry, I caused all this. I just wanted to help you. And I'm like, girl, it's okay. No problem. See you later. That morning, I had typed up my resignation letter, but I wasn't planning to give it to them until I came back from break. However, that was my last straw. It became apparent to me that these people want me to fail. They don't want me to be a part of their team. I'm clearly not, a part of their family. And I don't have to deal with this. It came down to my faith and knowing my worth. I know, one, I'm a darn good employee. I've held corporate level internships, corporate level positions. I know I'm a great employee, and I've gotten rave reviews at every position I've held. I've had internships extended because I was so good. I had a promotion within a year's time of graduating from high school. From college. I know I'm a great employee. I've gotten great reviews, great references. Come on. I know it's not me. It's how I felt. Also, God. Like, I literally sat there and I said, God, if I'm not making the right decision to quit, please show me a sign. And he only continued to show me their true colors and the reasons why I should quit. I also can, attest to the fact that God has never, and I mean never, left me hanging, okay? Just this time last year, I was going through a situation where I owed my school money and they said that I couldn't continue my studies. And it was all from a misunderstanding of me dropping a class. And I remember being so distraught, oh my God, I can't, I'm not going to be able to get my master's degree. I was approved for a new student loan within a few days. And I actually ended up transferring all my credits to Liberty University. Shout out to Liberty University. And I graduate with my master's degree in 3 months. And at the previous school I was at, I was having several delays with them not having instructors for the courses I needed and them saying that I wouldn't be able to graduate until 2021, So I just was like, everything works out. And God, he had shown me from the very beginning that I was making the wrong decision. And I think he just wanted to give me that push and that nudge to just leave, go out and get what you really deserve and what's really meant for you. You can do this. And that's what I did. I printed out the letter I had typed up. And just as I was getting up to go to my boss's office, she came to my office and she said, Tashara, I need to talk to you. And I said, well, actually, I need to talk to you. I said, I would like to formally resign from this position. I said, this has been a great learning experience for me. However, I don't feel that it's a good fit. I do not feel that I have the proper support to be successful. Peace. And she looked in shock. Honestly, she looked in shock. I think she was just more so in shock that I took my fate into my own hands and did what I had to do for me. She said that she wishes me the best, and I said thanks. I finished out the rest of my day, and I went on home to enjoy my winter break. I'm still on winter break now until the beginning of the year, and then I will finish out my 2 weeks, and I'll be done. the thing about it is, because I was so unhappy, I had started looking for jobs, like actively applying, like on a daily basis about a month ago. So I'm just hoping to hear back from one of them. I'm also just going to continue applying. This break is really good because I have time to apply for jobs and hopefully hear something back. And I've also been applying to temp agencies. I also just got in contact with a career coach / career recruiter who will help me with finding jobs. I have a wonderful fiance here to support me, and I have savings. I graduate with my master's in 3 months, so I know that will open other doors for me as well. But honestly, this is the most at peace I have felt in 6 months. And I made this video just to let anyone know that if you're going through this and you feel like you're at a job where you're being pretty much bullied, where you pretty much feel like you're being forced out, or you feel like you don't have the support, you feel like you have made the wrong decision in accepting the job, I just want to give other people the strength to walk away. I feel like I didn't have the strength to walk away. Like, I knew week 1 that this was a horrible decision I had made, and I didn't have the strength to walk away. And God gave me that push. And, another thing I want to, tell everyone is, like, it's okay to, have goals or whatever, but when you try to make your own plan or whatever, God laughs, because I feel like he was laughing at me. Like, I wanted this so bad, and he was showing me, like, this is not what you need to do. Do not accept this job. So, in conclusion, I just want to say to anyone who is at a job that they feel is not the right fit, that they feel like they're being bullied, where they feel like they don't have the right support, where you're just terribly unhappy and depressed, and you, in your gut, just know it's not right, don't be afraid to quit. Don't be afraid to quit. And I promise you, as long as you lay out a plan, you will be fine. Like, I know too many people who, have been let go from jobs, and, they go on to have an even better job the next time. I swear, and I stand by this, when one door closes, another one will open, and it's going to be even bigger. So, I will also be doing updates on my journey after quitting my job. And I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Again, the best of luck to anybody who was going through anything like that out there. I know it's crazy, but it will get better. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. Bye-bye.